What if your entire life could change in one moment because someone pointed a finger and accused you of something you didn't do? Imagine being just a kid, standing in a courtroom, accused of a crime, with everyone looking at you like you're already guilty. Now imagine the person accusing you is a police officer, someone people are supposed to trust. This is the story of a young boy who refused to back down and prove the truth when no one else would believe him. But what happened in that courtroom? It will leave you speechless. It all started on a quiet evening in a small suburban neighborhood. A police officer was driving home, tired from his shift. As he passed a row of houses, a rock struck the windshield of his patrol car, shattering it. Furious, he slammed on the brakes, jumped out, and looked around. Standing nearby was a young boy, just 13 years old. He was playing outside, kicking a soccer ball with his friends. Without hesitation, the officer marched straight toward the boy, his face red with anger. "Did you just throw that rock at my car?" he yelled. The boy froze, stunned by the sudden accusation. "No, sir, I didn't do anything," the boy stammered. But the officer wouldn't listen. "Don't lie to me," he shouted, grabbing the boy's arm. "I saw you, you're coming with me." The boy's parents came running out of the house, pleading with the officer to listen. He was playing soccer. His mother cried, tears streaming down her face. He would never do something like this. But the officer didn't care. He called for backup and arrested the boy right there on the spot. Days later, the boy found himself standing in a packed courtroom, his heart pounding as the case began. The officer sat confidently at the witness stand, pointing his finger at the boy and recounting his version of events. "Your Honor," the officer said, "I saw him throw the rock with my own eyes." The boy's parents sat behind him, holding hands tightly, their faces pale with worry. They believed in their son, but who would believe them over a police officer? But then, something incredible happened. The boy stood up. With trembling hands, he addressed the chief judge, a stern man known for his no-nonsense attitude. "Your Honor," he said, his voice steady despite the pressure, "I didn't throw the rock. I have proof." The courtroom fell silent. The boy reached into his folder and pulled out a single piece of paper. It was an image captured from a nearby house's CCTV camera, taken at the exact moment the rock was thrown. The grainy black and white footage clearly showed someone else, a teenager on a bike, hurling the rock at the car before quickly riding away. The evidence was undeniable. The judge examined the paper carefully, his eyebrows furrowing as he pieced together what really happened. Slowly, he looked up at the officer, who had gone pale. "Officer," the judge said, his voice cold and stern, "how do you explain this?" The officer stammered, but no words came out. He had no explanation. The truth was out, and it hit the courtroom like a thunderclap. The boy had been telling the truth all along. Tears streamed down his mother's face as she hugged her son. The father held them both tightly, whispering, "You did it, son. You stood up for yourself." But the story didn't end there. The officer wasn't just embarrassed, he was held accountable. The judge ruled that his false accusation and reckless actions had caused unnecessary trauma to the boy and his family. The officer was charged with misconduct, and the boy's family filed a $10 million lawsuit for defamation and emotional distress. That boy didn't just defend himself, he showed everyone the power of truth and bravery. He stood up when the odds were stacked against him, when it seemed like no one would believe him. And the lesson? Justice is not about power or position, it's about the truth. How many others have been falsely accused, their voices drowned out because they didn't have the courage or the resources to stand up? And what kind of world do we live in if we don't demand justice and accountability from those in power? The next time you hear someone being accused, ask yourself this: are we too quick to judge? Or are we brave enough to seek the truth? What do you think?
If you've watched this far, comment which country you're watching from and leave a 100 in the comment section, because you are type of person that likes to finish what they started. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to get notified whenever we drop new videos.